Hi, Leo. My name is Audrey, Alison. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I am coming to you live from New Jersey, and I'm so happy to see you. And I have some beautiful news for you this month, because if you are looking for a relationship, it's on. And also, if you're in a relationship, it's pretty much amazing. So what is happening is the influence of Aquarius this month is so strong, and that's actually affecting your polar opposite sign, your seventh house of marriage, commitment, monogamy, relationship, connection, and also business partnerships. We start off the month on the 3rd of January when Venus enters Aquarius, your seventh house. Venus is the planet of love, also the planet of money. So there's financial support for business partnerships, but there's also romance and love for relationship and commitment and taking relationships to the next level and or engagement and marriage. A lot of Leos could be connecting right now, and not just lighthearted fifth dating type style. You could be locking something down, putting a ring on it, getting things advanced to that commitment stage. And I'm so excited about this. You know, I'm a Leo rising, so let's do this. Watch your ascendant sign, because it's actually super accurate for transits. Yes, this is a solar sun's forecast, sun sign. However, your rising sign dictates your natal first house on your astrological chart. So it just applies more deeply to you to the degrees of which you were born if you know your rising sign. You could also get a reading with me. However, Venus going into the seventh house for Leos is their solar seventh house of relationships. Then Mercury follows her the next day on the 4th and joins in Aquarius. So that Mercury and Venus are conjunct now in this seventh house of relationship. Mercury's communication, online dating. Ooh, I'm going to have to set up a profile. Anyone who is online dating, you would have a lot of luck with Mercury in the 7th, because it is technologies, but it's also your communication style and your interviewing ability and how you're weeding out people and connecting. Mercury is also local influence, local travel and neighborhood. Siblings could connect you with a right partner. On the same day, on the 4th, we have our full moon at 14 degrees Cancer. Now, this I love for you, Leo, because this is applying in your 12th house. The sign just before you is Cancer, so that's your 12th house of your very quiet house of spirituality, inner reflection, psychic ability, intuitive enhancement, musical abilities. It's such a beautiful, calm. The 12th house is the calmest house, so you enter the new year with this full moon illuminating the sector. It brings an ending or something in a conclusion, a culmination in this 12th house. Your psychic ability is probably very sharp on the 4th. I would really heed your dreams and intuition. Prophetic dreaming is probably very spot on for you around the 4th or the evening of the 3rd and the evening of the 4th. Pay attention to your dreams with a full moon in the 12th house, Leo. You could be led intuitively to a right partner. I mean, it's not the 7th house, but it's meshed in between a lot of 7th house activity between your personal planets and also the sun and the new moon. So keep in mind what's coming to the light, what is being illuminated that has not been seen, is what is up when the full moon is in the 12th. And this is very internal. This isn't something you have to project outward and let everybody else know and put it on a blimp and send it out to the universe. This is something you want to hone it in. You want to keep this to yourself, because as usual, most things manifest if you just keep it to yourself. I love that, a full moon in the 12th. All right, so that's on the 4th. Now on the 12th of January, Mars is entering Pisces. Pisces is your 8th house of sex, and it's also shared resources. So you've got Venus in the 7th, okay, stimulating whether this is money in a business partnership, and then you have Mars stimulating your shared resources for the partnership, or you have Mars, which is the planet that represents men in your sex sector. So your relationship in the 7th could lead to this 8th house. Now, Mars is the planet of energy, action, determination, drive, ambition, will. But in the 8th house is also property, legal settlements, taxes. What a great time for a Leo or Leo rising to get your taxes done than on the 12th of January. No better time in the whole year. Well, from the 12th, I don't even want to say that. Mercury's going to retrograde this month, so from the 12th till about the 15th would be superb for handling any taxes because you have Mars in the 8th, or even into February. After the 11th of February until the 28th of February would be a very good time to do your taxes as well. But since I'm just doing a January forecast, the best time in January, and particularly only for Leos, since you have Mars in your 8th house of taxes, settlements, handling all that stuff, is from the 12th until about the 20th, but safely I want to say the 12th to the 15th because you can feel the influence of a Mercury retrograde several days, if not weeks prior. But right here, I would say you've got 3 really good days to handle that, and with ease, which we like because all that stuff is kind of a nightmare sometimes. But also Mars giving energy in the 8th house could be you receiving support or action around receiving a will or being involved in someone's inheritance. But you know what? Mars is sweat and passion in the 8th house. That's a sexual placement. You could be exuding a lot of energy in that area. Now on the 20th, as usual, every year, the sun is entering Aquarius. So the sun is going to be conjunct Venus and Mercury stationed in your 7th house of relationships. I probably pull a lot of relationship cards for you because it's on, like the 4 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, the Lover's card. There's a few things that could represent that energy. The majority of the Cup cards, well, not all of them, but we'll see what comes up. Anyway, fire cards too, some passion could come up for you. But the sun entering Aquarius on the 20th in your 7th house is also the same day on the 20th that we have our new moon at 0 degrees Aquarius in your 7th. I'm so excited because, wow, you really, Leo rising, you could be meeting a new committed soulmate around that time frame of the 20th. So get out or get your profile set up and then you'll be dating and then you'll get out. And this could really, you could just connect like nobody's business. I love it. Not every new moon is at 0 degrees. It could be anywhere from between 0 and 30 degrees. So the fact that they have been, the last 4 or 5 new moons have been at the 0 degree mark, we are initiating a new pattern in these sectors that we have these new moons. We are all ascending to another level. We are trying to initiate a new pattern in our life path in these sectors, which is out with the old way of thinking of relationships and in with the new. Oh my gosh, I love this. So the new moon conjunct the sun, conjunct Venus, conjunct Mercury, all in the 7th house. Okay, let me say this. If you're already married, you're like, I'm not single, I'm not looking for anybody. Okay, fine. Calm down. The relationship that you're already in, it could not be better. You're over any arguments. The sun is shining. Venus is there. They're all conjunct. There's a lot of beautiful communication flow between you and your partner. Your marriage is really where it's supposed to be. You could actually, a lot of Leos who are engaged, there is an amazing time to get married between the 3rd and the 20th. I wouldn't marry in a Mercury retrograde. That's a no-no. So unless you can't avoid it, but honestly, if you're into astrology, you know not to put a time stamp for a lifetime of commitment in a retrograde, whether that's Venus, Mars, or Mercury, because you will have to redo some things, which ultimately means redo your vows or renew them or do something different because something isn't panning out. Now, we have our Mercury retrograde on the 21st of January through February 11th. Mercury in itself is communications, and you can expect the cell phone glitches, the satellite going out, the TV being weird, whatever. Missed messages, phone calls. I didn't get that. Something's not translating. You're not communicating with everyone like you think you are. But now this retrograde falls in the 7th house because Mercury is retrograding at 0 degrees Aquarius in this 7th house where all of this stuff is happening in this magical initiation. So what this really means, though, is that, the first 3 weeks of the month, you're really aligning or realigning yourself with the right partner. And then you pause, and then you don't really push forward with a lot of action. You are reassessing. A retrograde doesn't mean it falls apart. It just means revise, rewrite, review, analyze, take a step back and see, is this really what I want? And what better timing, honestly, than when you're meeting someone for a retrograde, so you really don't rush into anything. You're not handling things rashly. So I'm not really mad at that. I think that you could learn a lot on your relationship style and your technique in a relationship with the retrograde. And on the 27th, Venus transits twice. She moves out of the 7th, so she's there for 24 days. She moves into Pisces, where she enters your house of sex or your house of property, taxes, settlements, etc., legalities, shared resources. But Venus, since you're so lit up in the 7th house and your intuition, that's all that's happening this month. The 8th house really feels like it fits in with the relationship, which would be intimacy. The 8th house is intimacy, okay? So regardless of sexual encounters, this is an intimate relationship that's growing, and Venus is beautifying this. She's sensuality, she's love, she's respect and honor. This is great, Leo. I want to pull the cards because I'm super excited to see what comes up and to see how it meshes with the astrological forecast. And as usual, if you'd like a private reading with me, reach me at audreyallison.com and we'll hook it up. I'm also on Facebook, Audrey Allison Astrology and Tarot. January 2015 for Leo and Leo rising. Let's see. All right, the Two of Swords. This is where you're coming from. You were at a standstill. You could have been in the middle of a debate, actively questioning. It's also a thought card. Since there's two of them, you could be thinking about, your other half or what you want to, you might feel stuck, like nothing's moving forward in the form of relationship or duality somehow. Let's see what else is coming. Three of Wands. I love this card. Broadening the horizons, travel, but it's also a new wave, new reinforcements, replenishment, the new moon in the house of relationships, in the fire cards that I thought I'd pull, which is regarding passion. This is a new passion. You're meeting someone new, or you're reigniting the passion in your relationship that already exists as if it is new. It could be a honeymoon period for those of you who are married, or feel like there's an energy, a renewing of your current relationship. More fire. This is passion. This card is overcome with passion. The 10 of Wands is sacrifice. You might be sacrificing a whole lifestyle for the sake of love. Something is overwhelming you and your desires. Sexy. And the Queen of Cups. Use your intuition, your 12th house. The full moon in your 12th house is this card. And I actually said that in the reading prior. The reading I did before this was Pisces, I believe, because I was jumping all over the place. And what I said in that reading was, their 12th house is lit up, and I said, watch me pull the Queen of Cups for you because of your intuition being so heightened in your 12th house. But now, this came up for you because the full moon is in your 12th house, and that is a very intuitive placement. So this is your own intuition. Use it when you're meeting someone. You should trust your gut over anyone's opinion. Okay, so what I'm saying is, you start out like this. You started out stuck maybe, or just questioning, actively seeking wisdom and knowledge to guide you through the path, to guide you through as this boat sails, or it would probably be sailing this way. But this is passion and a new sense of something coming to you. You can receive information. You're very passionate about who you are either connecting with or in a relationship with. And just please trust your intuition because it's very accurate at this time. Thanks, Leo. I will see you next month. My name is Audrey Allison. Have a sweet January.